Welcome back, roomies, to the Engine Room podcast. We are back after a little break, some schedule conflicts, some holidays, but we're back. We're going to be discussing Barcelona lifting the first La Liga title since 2019. We'll be jumping over to the English Premier League with some updates of the top and bottom of the table. We'll touch on some other things before getting into the Champions League. We'll talk about the first leg results. We'll do a little preview for the second leg, all that and whatever comes up here on the podcast with the boys, Pablo and Buga. How are we doing, gentlemen?
I'm doing well. I'm doing fine, thank you. Obviously a good night for Barcelona last night, and I'm interested to talk about Barcelona's revolution almost, from when Xavi came into where they've got to now. And also, I think we've got that big Champions League tie, of course, coming up that could be almost game of the season actually at the Etihad. So I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah, I think, Pablo, you need to tell us where you were, because that's amazing.
Yes,
where was I?
Yeah, let's start. Yeah. We're talking about you. Let's talk about your holiday before we get into La Liga, because this is big for the pod. Our boy Pablo,
yeah,
making some strides here, taking a trip with his club. Tell us about it, Pablo.
Yeah, well, we went Malsall Football Club, went to Portugal for our end of season do. Really, we went to the Algarve for 4 nights, and everything you can kind of expect to happen on that sort of trip, happened. So yeah, it was good fun. It was a good laugh. I apologize for the pod being delayed, but no, it was a good trip.
I mean, we can delay as much as you want if it means you're happy.
I mean, as the podcast grows, as our careers grow, this is going to be a thing sometimes. We're going to get pulled in different directions. This is all part of the road to 2026 World Cup here in the States, where we're going to be
live Engine Room
somewhere. Yeah.
We should do like a live podcast in like a bar or a coffee or some shit like that.
Oh, we'll have some meetups. We'll definitely do that. Like we'll be flying to different cities around the US, Canada, and Mexico by then. We'll probably have a few sponsors paying for it, you know what I mean? And we'll put out a list of the bars where we're going to have the watch along parties and everything. That'll be happening in 2026.
You know what's actually so weird? Like I thought about this the other day. Do any of you feel like we've already met in person, but we haven't, obviously?
Oh my god.
Yeah, we have never met in person.
It's like I know you guys so well. But I've never actually seen you face to face in my life.
No, I'm gonna be very starstruck when it happens. I have this vision of like walking up to the Camp Nou, and Pablo and Buga got there just a couple minutes before me, and we're walking up, and you guys turn and we're like, yeah, hey, there he is, yeah.
If John, if you really know us, you knew I would be the last one to get there.
That's fair.
It's actually going to be unreal. It's going to be an unreal moment, by the way.
I think it'll be sooner rather than later.
It's going to be emotional.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, who knows? Maybe we're going to, I'm getting ahead of myself, but maybe there's a Champions League fixture next spring where we all wind up in Barcelona. Who knows?
I want to say, how tall were you? How tall are you? Because I think I might be there and I'll be like, oh my God, you're so tall.
I'm 6 feet tall.
Ooh. I have no idea what that means.
I'm 5'10".
I have no idea what that means.
Buga, what's your stature?
I'm 1.76 centimeters.
Centimeters.
Yeah.
So that's how many inches?
Yeah, that's like, I think you're like 5'8" or something, Buga.
Oh my God, that is low key.
You're 5'7".
Just under 5'8", Buga. So
I'm Messi levels. Yay!
Yeah. In the States, you're 5'8", Buga.
I'm Messi levels.
Yeah, I'm 5'11" in my book.
I don't need more.
I don't need more. Buga, you're perfect the way you are.
Yep. I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Lots of love on this podcast. You know that. Are we ready to jump into things then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's start. Can we start here? I want to give some love and attention, since we're spreading the love here this morning, to Ter Stegen. I know he's starting to get some recognition now that the stats are all coming out. I mean, he's got ridiculous numbers for this season in terms of clean sheets, particularly at the Camp Nou. I just got to say, his turnaround this year has been remarkable. There's been some matches where he hasn't been asked to do a lot, but every match where he's tested, he has shown up aces. Even the match against Espanyol, it ended up 4-2, if not for Ter Stegen, we could have lost that match. We were controlling it the entire time, but we gave up enough decent chances that Ter Stegen had to do his part to give us the 3 points. So I want to start with giving some love to Ter Stegen on this one.
He's been unreal.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure now when you weigh up Ter Stegen next to other kind of goalkeepers, I'm not too sure whether he gets the recognition he deserves, especially like globally, internationally. You take a look at someone like Courtois, and he's always going to have the highlight reel, and you always know he can put something, can pull something out of the bag, especially in those Champions League nights. And at the end of the day, it's just we think about the Champions League, and you realize that is precisely where those moments are made. So I'm just hoping, and I wanted to talk about this later, maybe in the pod, that Barcelona do really need to get back to winning ways in that competition sooner rather than later, because a lot of these players need to start getting that media attention or some things that maybe we don't like, but at the end of the day are needed to consolidate themselves in what is a successful or not footballing career.
Yeah. Pablo, how much does Ter Stegen not getting national team attention affect his level of recognition, do you think?
Yeah, probably quite a lot, because it's very unusual for a goalkeeper, obviously, of that high level to not be starting for his nation. It doesn't really add up in that regard. We're talking about a top 3 goalkeeper in the world not starting for his country. So it's a strange one, but he's revolutionized it this season, I have to say. I think actually he's got a good shot at being the best player in La Liga this season and actually winning that award. Like, I honestly do. And I've heard a lot of commentators say that before on like La Liga TV, that they think if you were to pick one from Barca, they would probably go for Ter Stegen. And I think with the way we've played this season, it's been hard to single out one, but he might be the most decisive player we've had. Especially when you look back at some of the 1-0 wins where he's just been outrageous. But, I mean, he had a weird time at Barca where I think obviously he conceded an awful lot of goals in Champions League matches, and he had that operation on his knee, was it, where he couldn't put weight on his left leg or something, and a lot happened with Ter Stegen, but it seems as if he's really back to his best. And I got to say right now, like, the confidence I feel with Ter Stegen in goal is unreal, because like when there's a 1v1, I'm really certain he's going to save it, and he does 9 times out of 10. You look at the Braithwaite chance last night. I think there was another one maybe for Pablo who
Braithwaite looked
through.
So upset. He was looking like, what do I have to do to beat Ter Stegen here? Like, his face looked like he had not even ever beaten him in training. You know what I mean? It looked like he was just reliving nightmares of his Barcelona training days.
And you know how badly he wanted to score against Barca as well. He was fuming, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he did. Absolutely. That was a bit of a saga. Yeah, it's interesting, and I think you made a good point there. When you look back at the season, there's been a few different players that have stepped up at different moments, but if you look to kind of pick someone who's been there the entire year consistently, I think that's Ter Stegen.
Yeah.
Buga, what do you think? Who's been maybe a standout player for you this season that has led to Barcelona's success?
I think there are 3 players that are kind of the MVPs. I was thinking about this yesterday after we won La Liga. And for me, we got, first of all, Ter Stegen. I think that, as all of you have already mentioned here, he's just revitalized himself. I honestly think it's the hair. Like, I'm not joking. I honestly think it's his new set of hair. I really do think that. There's nothing like a man without hair. Like, the confidence of that man is shattered. Not to all of you baldies out there, but I mean, like, if you haven't come to terms with it, if you haven't come around to the terms with it, of course it can hurt you a bit. And now Ter Stegen is back in full throttle. I think the next one, Araujo. I think he's having one of the best seasons as well as a defender. He's just the main rock of that back line. And finally, I would like to think that we can recognize one player that at the end of the day, we were just missing that so much last season, and that is Robert Lewandowski, someone who can just put goals in the back of the net. He's not going to have, right now, he's not having every single game. There was a moment where every single game he was brilliant. But now he started to kind of fall down a little. There's change of tactics and stuff like that hurt him a bit. But at the end of the day, we have a player that can put 30 goals in all competitions at the back of the net. And that is something that we didn't have last year. And we just have to give recognition where it's due. And I think Lewandowski is just one of those players very important. I don't think we couldn't have won La Liga without any of those 3 players. because we didn't have Pedri at certain moments, we didn't have Gavi at certain moments, we didn't have Frankie, we didn't have Busquets.
Yeah.
But those three players consistently, they deliver consistently, either helping us win points, come back from games, and just keeping Barcelona with the right mindset for every single game.
Yeah. Lewandowski, first player since the original Ronaldo, some would say the only Ronaldo, to score 30-plus goals in his first season at Barcelona. And still, to Buga's point, he got a fair amount of criticism.
Yeah.
So, Pablo, where do you rate Lewandowski's first season? Are you content? Are you did he overperform? Did he underperform? Where are your expectations for Lewandowski here?
I'm really happy with Lewandowski. I think actually on and off the pitch, he's been a huge influence at Barcelona. I really do think that. I think he's been class, to be fair. I understand the criticism. I have to be fair and say I do, because there have been an awful lot of matches where I've watched and I've thought, this guy's not playing well. That has happened quite a lot of times. But at the same time, it's Robert Lewandowski. That we didn't sign, Messi to dribble past 10 players and whip it into the corner. It is Lewandowski. Yeah. We've all watched him in the Champions League and for Bayern and score 50 goals every season. That is what he does, and he's come to Barcelona and he's done the same thing, right? I didn't know how he was going to adapt to Barcelona, whether he was even going to fit in as kind of like a pole number 9 up there, if you like. And to be fair, I think he's fitting really well with the young players as well. He's got put an arm around their shoulder. So I think actually it's been a real success. It was a good price. I think he's been a brilliant signing for Barcelona. So I'm super happy for Lewandowski. Just hope that he wraps up the Pichichi Award now, bar a late miracle from the likes of Benzema. And the 2 goals last night, I think was actually quite a fitting way to end the season, and he'll be happy with that. In a big game, the title-winning game, to get 2 goals on his name was I think good and cemented a really good first season from Barca.
Yeah, I think you got to just understand that striker's form, comes and goes in waves, and to everything that you said, he didn't have a consistent team around him for the entire season. You know what I mean? If you leave Dembele in there for the whole season, if he doesn't go down injured a couple of times, maybe that changes things, because that's a player that was feeding him a lot of assists early on in the season. And I would like to see maybe a chart of Lewandowski's goals and Dembele's injuries and see where those lines kind of overlap there. I think it'd be kind of interesting. What do you think about this stat? Pedri getting his first assist of the season.
Yeah, I read that.
That is so wild to me. Buga, what
but
was your reaction
I
to
think it's wild, but it's not I don't know who was I listening to? I think it was Thierry Henry, DT, and he was talking about how
legend.
Like Iniesta and Xavi's role, he was saying we played with Messi, we played with Yaya Touré, all these incredible players, and at the end of the day, like the most important players in that team that he of course had in 2011 was Iniesta and Xavi, or 2009, sorry, because they wouldn't get like plenty of assists a season, they wouldn't get plenty of goals, but they're the players that keep on the ball ticking, the circulation, the rhythm, the frequency of the ball, just simply how much they can gather the rhythm to put the ball into the final third. And I think that precisely embodies what Barcelona tries to do, and that's what Pedri and Gavi has done this season all around. Like, and at the end of the day, I don't need Pedri or Gavi to score goals, if you ask me. Like, I'm not really looking at it, but it's just I feel plenty of things that Pedri have done, or plenty of things that they will do, is they don't put the ball for the assist. They put the ball before the pre-assist. That's exactly what they do. And if we have a chart of pre-assist, I guarantee you that they're both up there. I can guarantee you 100% they're up there. But they don't simply get the recognition for the assist. At least they get it from us. And thankfully, they get it from the world of football as well, because they're simply sensational. But they do a lot in terms of creating chances for this team, but there's not a stat for that. So
yeah, Pedri and Gavi are never going to be numbers players. I know that Xavi is quite insistent on Pedri, especially scoring goals. And to be fair, he's our 4th top scorer this season behind, but he's up there anyway, but he's maybe in our Liga anyway. So he's scored quite a few goals this season, to be fair, Pedri, especially in the 1-0 wins. But I just think in general, they're not going to be numbers players. And neither is anyone in our midfield, actually.
Yeah, I think Xavi wants Pedri to appear more in terms in front of goal because he does that already quite a lot. Like Pedri
Yeah.
already finds himself in positions where he's one on one with the keeper. So of course Xavi's gonna say like, "Hey, dude, come on, can you like improve your finishing so we can score more goals?" Like that
There
makes
is
perfect
that,
sense.
yeah.
That it makes
Pedri
perfect
could be
sense.
could
Yeah, but that's not. It's not like a tremendous bonus or what's the word? It's not like a necessary requirement that he needs, right? It's just something because of how the way that Barcelona are playing, he finds himself there. Like I feel that in plenty of other Barcelona systems, and I was thinking about it as well. This team does not. It's not exactly, or it's not a copy made squad of what other Barcelona players did. Like the one from Luis Enrique, it was just basically all midfield, and then bang, just give it whatever happens for the middle, for the wings, give it to some of the front three. They'll do the magic. And Guardiola was all about playing inwards, outwards to the wingers. So the wingers then finish the chances. Like plenty of our wingers finish chances. It could be Messi, it could be David Villa. They will always have huge numbers. But this Barcelona is more about like either through the middle to Lewandowski and have the chances created by the wingers, or and then have those extra bodies in the midfield coming in from deep and scoring goals, like Pedri or like a Gavi, or hopefully if God wants, we can get someone like Gundogan, who's just incredible at doing those things, right? So that is precisely why I feel someone like Shai is really going for a player like him. I think that is why someone like Kessie has been important, crucial in certain moments for La Liga, winning that last minute goal. I will never forget. I will always use this as a banter for Real Madrid fans. We want you using a Rosalia shirt. That's exactly what Kessie did in moments like that. So I feel those sort of players, at the end of the day, are different and make this Barcelona team a little bit different from others, from other years.
Yeah, I what stands out to me is that despite the tremendous improvements, despite a huge turnaround, we're still not a complete club.
No,
Like
no.
this is not a finished product yet. We're doing this without a proper left wing. We're doing this without a proper right back. So I think I'm very impressed that we've come this far, and I'm wondering what you all think Barcelona need to do next to not have another Champions League letdown, to have the success that we have come to expect from a club of Barcelona's stature. What do Barcelona need to turn that corner now? We can cross La Liga off. We're back. We're top of the table. We've got the trophy. What do we need to do to take that next step and not just eliminated from the group stage, but how do we get into the semifinals, the finals? What are we missing? What do we think, Pablo?
Before that, I think we need to give the audience like understand the reason why is that the case. Why are we not a finished product? Because I feel some people overlook that.
Give some context, Buga.
I feel, and I had it here, like this is something that I really wanted to talk about. When I look at this team, I think this season was really hard. Winning this Liga title is important. 15 of the players in this 23-man squad haven't won a Liga title before. So first of all, that was important. We have people from the substitute goalkeepers, Iñaki Peña, Arnau Tenas, Koundé, Araujo, Christensen, Frankie, Gavi, Pedri, who else you have? Rafinha, Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati, and I think Ansu Fati won one. Valdez, all of these players, look at how many starters are there, and they hadn't won a Liga title. That's important. That is exactly what like an Arsenal didn't manage to do this season. That is why turning that rock is so important. You need to be able to win something to actually feel more confident. That's one thing. That is why this season was harder. But next year, don't get it twisted. Next year is going to be harder, in my opinion. Harder because you got the expectation of being champions already. You have the expectations of performing in the UCL. And most importantly, we saw the tactics that we saw implemented this year. I don't think, and here I want to know what you think, guys. I don't know whether they are the ones to take us to the top level because winning 1-0 games in a La Liga format makes sense. But when you're talking about those knockout games, for instance, you need more. You need, I think, for instance, Manchester City did that against Real Madrid in the UCL in the first leg. They played very safe. They wanted to go for the draw. They wanted to control, and they wanted to limit many chances as possible from them and from Real Madrid as well. And at the end of the day, they only managed to get a 1-1. That is a good form of thinking, perhaps. But on the Etihad, we know that they're not going to play that same way, right? But now Barcelona doesn't have that in their arsenal. Barcelona with this current squad or the way the tactics are being implemented, they don't have that ability to go, full throttle, let's just go all out, let's attack for the left, for the right. They have our fullbacks bombarding. No, it has to be all very cautious. Like if Dembele pushes too high up and Koundé doesn't follow him, we have a massive gap on the right-hand side, and the same for the left. Or Agavi, like we need a left winger and stuff like that. So that is harder because the squad, I think there's huge credit because Barcelona managed to win this, not with the full squad. Like not with a full squad and not with the most perfect implemented tactics, like the one that will take us to glory. They didn't win this La Liga like that. They won this La Liga just, like I was saying, right, guys? I said, like, with Southampton, I make a joke like, sometimes I don't care. I got to defend and win 1-0. Barcelona did their version of that this season. And we are not the complete product. So I feel that's going to have a huge impact. Then Busquets not being there, that's going to have a tremendous impact. Like I don't think this midfield will ever look the same maybe in like 20 years until we get another player like Busquets or Barcelona splash out the cash to get someone like Rodri, you know?
Uga,
so
I thought we said we weren't going to talk about it. It's too soon. I don't want to
but that's the reality, guys. Like our midfield, like you're not going to have De Jong playing the pivot position alone. It doesn't really work. De Jong was incredible because he was next to Busquets.
Yeah. I'm very curious to see what Xavi does with that.
Yeah. So that is a tremendous rebuild. If you bring Messi in, that's an other rebuild. Like our team, our best first 11 won't look the same from this season. You know?
Yeah.
It won't be the same. And that is what worries me.
I do think this is going a bit off topic, but I do think we need to take it back to actually when I'm just thinking back to when Laporta first came in, and also then to when Xavi came in, and just the mess that Barcelona are in, institutionally, socially, sporting-wise. And I remember looking actually and watching our games. I think it was under Koeman after Messi left, after Griezmann left, and I thought, we are finishing 9th here, and it would have been so easy for Barcelona to turn into AC Milan or Manchester United, by the way, like all the other clubs did. But Laporta came in, and to be fair, he got it spot on this summer, I think, with the signings, as did Alemany in all of them. And then Xavi, who I criticised in the past and still needs to prove himself in big European games, to be fair, just like we were talking about now. We'll get on to the next step in a moment. But I actually think, to be fair to Xavi, proved himself tactically as a top manager this season, how good we've been defensively, the way the team came together. It was actually unthinkable 18 months ago, unthinkable that we would be this strong and be in this good of a place and now looking to the future with this bright prospect. So I think, to be honest, this league, probably the way we've won it, feels a bit anticlimactic. I don't know about you guys, but I knew we were going to win this for a few months now. So when we won it last night, it wasn't like, oh my God, like, we've done it. It was like, well done, lads. That's deserved. But
about time.
Yeah. But actually, it was a huge achievement. And it's just because the nature we've won it was so far clear that it doesn't feel that buzz, which it maybe does if it's like 1 point in it on the last day. But honestly, this achievement has been really, really impressive. And I think just because of how strong we've been this season, it's very easy to forget about where we've come from and where we're still coming from. There's still scandal after scandal after scandal attached to this club because of Bartomeu. The financial issues are terrible. We have to sign 30-year-old free agents again this summer because we can't get our top targets. And, we are still not where we want to be.
We've had the Negreira case.
Yeah, exactly. Just crap like this. Crap, and that will keep happening. I think I saw the other day that we're going to be fined like something like a couple million euros for something we did with the cars to the players or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's constant because of Bartomeu. So this is a good reward for like Laporta and Xavi.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think it feels good to win the La Liga title, and I'll say this one for me feels better than the other one that the other ones that we've won, like in the Messi era. Yeah, I think Messi said it best that we were maybe taking that for granted, and then these last 4 years of being in the dark, I feel the sunshine now. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that this is the end of the journey, that, okay, we can put our feet up now. The club's back, everybody. That's not the case at all. But, boy, it feels good. It really does feel good to win.
I don't know if I'm being, like, really... You tell me the word after what I say. Yeah. I don't know. Like, anticlimactic? I don't know if that's the word. But it's like, I still, when I look at this squad, maybe it's just me. Maybe when I look at this team, the way we won it, and I say, like, it's amazing that we've won after all these years, but I don't have that same thing where like this squad will be unstoppable. Like I don't have that.
No,
I don't
we're
have that
not.
confidence. I don't have that. I feel that's what I put like on a tweet. I said the victory in it of itself for me is that I just know what this Barcelona project currently is one of the best in the world. That for me is a win for me in itself. Like it's good enough because from where we were like we didn't have any legs, any foundations. We were shaky. We will fall all the way. Now we're solid. We know our foundation is solid. But when I look at what's further forward in the path, I'm not too sure whether it's as clear as some people think it is.
Well, we're on a bit of a fork in the road here, and we were all talking about this a little bit in our group chats here, but Barcelona were, I'll say, before Boosie announced that he's leaving.
Yeah.
We've renewed Sergio Roberto. We're looking at maybe keeping Alba for another year. We're talking about if some other names don't work out, maybe we bring back Aubameyang. Barcelona could easily slip back into the 30 and over club. You know, if we put ourselves in a situation, listen, there's a scenario where Barcelona next season have Lewandowski and Lionel Messi up top, but we've sold Rafinha and Dembele's injured, and who knows what happens with Ansu Fati, and then all of a sudden it's the exact same situation of having Suarez and Messi up top in 2018, 2019, and players
100%
can just press us across the midfield line because there's no pace up top. So
absolutely.
It's like we're climbing out of the muck, but we're not totally out yet. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, definitely.
I think
they've got to get the summer right again, haven't they? You're right. We are so close, but we still could tip. It's like, which way do you want to go, right? Because I mean, the squad age could rise heavily this summer. By the way, Gundogan, Inigo Martinez, Carrasco, Messi, Aubameyang. If you sell players at Ansu, Rafinha, I think two of Ansu, Rafinha, and Ferran, maybe three will be sold. We cannot sell Rafinha, by the way. That is something I have to just...
Yeah, Rafinha, if Barcelona sells Rafinha, I'm going to be so mad. He's the only player, like, I think he's had better stats than Dembele this season, like, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Or maybe the same. Like, he's... And we're praising Dembele. Of course, Dembele is unique, you know, in his talent. But Rafinha is still a player that he makes up for that talent that he doesn't have or matches Dembele with pure passion, pure adrenaline, pure energy, pure work rates. And that is something that we don't have. We haven't had in years. For me, when I look at Rafinha, I just feel of like, he's like the Pedro, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
I feel,
yeah,
he's exactly what I've always wanted in a winger, just hardworking player. And like, especially if you're gonna bring back these older players, like Gundogan. Look, I'm not gonna put him in the older player category because I feel he operates differently. So I think that's fine. But a Messi, Carrasco, Inigo Martinez, that's the players where I'm like, ugh. And look, I'm putting Messi in that bag, right? In that group of players. But it's like, it's reality. The thing that I agree with you guys, but then I look and the only reason why I'm still like confident of where we're going is because of Xavi, and I feel that at the end of the day, if those players come in, I rest at ease when I see that Xavi will not be a Valverde and just put the older players for hierarchy. Here right now in this team, the younger players have more hierarchy because they would have been in front of pecking order for different things. Like it's not gonna be Carrasco over Balde suddenly, you know. It's gonna be like Balde always going to be playing for the left.
Do you all think Barcelona have a chance at the three-peat golden boy with Balde? Could he get it? Is he?
I do so much.
We should do.
That's what I want to say.
He's an outrageous footballer. Outrageous.
This guy has impressed me so much from his cameo appearances last season to now not only taking but establishing himself as the starting left back. You know, at the beginning of the season, there was a little bit of back and forth with him and Jordi Alba, but by halfway through, it was clear Balde is the answer. He's not just the future; he is the present. And yesterday's game against Espanyol, you kidding me? That was probably the best Balde we've seen.
Yeah.
Best moment to get the goal. His first goal with Barcelona. Best moment. Dude, this kid is amazing. Like I was just watching the game with my dad, and he was like, "Who the fuck is that kid?" He's like, "Who is he?" He's wearing like number 28. He's irrelevant, and I'm like, "He's so good." And then bang, goal, assist, bang, goal, and there's an interview. I don't know if you listened to it because it was Spanish or they just passed it on our screen. That it was, they were asking Vale, like 12 months ago, could you have imagined yourself being starter for this team, let alone be incorporated in the group dynamics, let alone being called to the Spanish national team, let alone going to the World Cup? He's done all of this at 18 years of age, and he doesn't look like he's gonna stop. And why can I? He dribbles like with the ball stuck to his feet. You always know he's gonna win that 1-on-1, and I don't have any problem. He's just amazing. Like, dude,
quickest first
recovery time
football.
Yeah,
in terms of stop the ball and then boom, he's gone again. I mean, it's between, I think, Balde and Dembele for who's got the fastest stop start in football. It's absolutely incredible.
I think someone like Alphonso Davies is really good at that. I feel honestly like Balde is like modern
Alphonso
in the
Davies
way of
too,
like,
bro. That's what Balde is saying. I mean, he stole all that clout. If you talk about who's the best young left back in the world, you got to say Balde over Davies.
At this moment, 100%. But I mean, we're overlooking what this guy has done.
I don't know if there's been a better left back than Balde in Europe this season.
That's a good shout.
Camavinga might have something to say about it, but
dude, honestly,
look,
you say that. I don't know if you say that jokingly or not, but for
it's
me,
a half joke because to Pablo's point, Camavinga has not been there the whole season, but also
he's been really good.
He's really
so good.
I don't like to.
He's been really good.
But Camavinga is really good.
Yeah, he's been amazing. That left back was honestly like really. But the one thing that I think makes this Balde thing a lot better, and I don't know how you feel about this, guys, but I feel that it couldn't have happened if Alba didn't put like didn't contribute to it, didn't accept the secondary role. I feel that I always go back to Alba when he was benched by Luis Enrique for the second leg of the PSG comeback of La Remontada. And he was really mad. He wanted to leave or something like that. But now it's just like he clearly knows this kid is way better.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you know what? He's way better. He's probably gonna be way better than I ever was, even though Alba was incredible in his peak. Or he just thinks that, a way of saying things. And he was like, I'm gonna help the kid. I'm gonna help Balde. I'm gonna help this kid be better, be this, be that. And it works. And whenever Alba has come in, he's been amazing. So I feel it takes both ways here, and I just wanted to give a little bit of credit for that because I wasn't expecting that. I always thought Alba was going to be a little bit more childish, a little bit more egotistic, narcissist. But at the end of the day, he accepted the role perfectly. And
to be fair,
and
hasn't he? This season, Alba's actually been quite a good example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so. I think, and listen, he had a few players that he could look to that did it right. Iniesta to me is the example of how to take a step back without having a poor attitude about it, still maintaining a level of excellence on and off the pitch, and answering the call when you're tapped by the manager. You know what I mean? Like Jordi Alba having a couple match winners this season. So I think that. To everything that Buga said, I think that drives that home. But
let's so good.
Wait,
can I say one more thing about Balde? Like, you know why this club works? You know why this club works so good? And I know we all know already, but I'm just gonna say it for the audience.
Matteo Alemany.
Honestly, look, that's a twisted take that I wanted to give last season. I don't think Matteo Alemany leaving is that big of a deal. I don't think so. I'll leave that for another discussion.
Okay.
But for Balde, I don't think that because like if you take a look at all, he's just like, I'm just gonna leave that out there for you to think. Did we pay more, or like for the negotiation of the players that we bought? Were they not the market value that we needed to pay for them? Like, would you like Koundé for 50 million? I don't think it's like wow, amazing.
Oh yeah, no, we didn't. Yeah, with everyone that we brought
Rafinha 70 million. No, wow. No, I feel.
Yeah, we didn't overpay for it. We did not do any deals like we did for Dembele, Coutinho, Griezmann.
Yeah, that's just
We
like
avoided
No,
those
we were
cases.
class this summer. We were underpaid. Like Chelsea were going to
Yeah.
get Koundé for 60. Rafinha, I think we didn't. We only did Rafinha 60. No, that Chelsea were going to do 70. I think.
Something like that.
but the bonus. I mean, like 60 million for Rafinha is still not like you got him like incredibly well in my opinion. I just feel that there's more of the signings and stuff is like we know that in this club we have two roles, right? We have sporting director and we have the director of football that is Jordi Cruyff. I feel getting the players that we need, like the best way to explain this is I feel that if Rafinha performs well, they're attributing that Rafinha performs well and giving the credit to Matteo Alemany when in fact Alemany has nothing to do if Rafinha plays well. Is the fact that I feel is more Xavi and Jordi Cruyff that they go and say this is a player that we need because they select the player, and then Matteo Alemany goes, I'll get you the player. And I feel that no one is going like, hey, Jordi Cruyff, amazing work for getting this player. And I feel it's just because in the world of football outside of Barca right now currently, the word sporting director means that. But in our club, we have two positions, and one of them is not Alemany. They work together in tandem. So I feel that that's a difference. And I don't feel that. I don't know. I feel they work as a team really good, but it's just like for discussion for another day. What I wanted to say is that for Balde, like look at this. Barcelona now have a player in La Masia, comes in, 18 years old. You don't have to pay a single penny for it, and now you have a player for the next decade and a half. That's like just incredible in my eyes. Like I don't ever for the next 15 years have to think of the left back. Like and not of the midfielder like Gavi, Apel. If Ansu Fati didn't have injuries, I wouldn't have to think of him for the left winger. It's just it makes perfect sense, and I feel that we just make such a good like foundation and building blocks for our players. And you know the most important thing is that they want to be here. Like someone like Araujo, for instance, he is not from La Masia, but he stays here. He wants to be here, and I feel that's the difference maybe from us to another clubs, and that's why I fell in love with his team. Finally, I'm getting this back. You know, I'm not buying players like you said, like Coutinho, Dembele, Griezmann. I'm getting the players because of what they mean. So kudos to that.
Yeah, I think it's easy for Barcelona supporters to start falling in love with this team. You know, a new era, as they say. We of course could keep talking about Barcelona forever. We're all very excited about the La Liga title. We're very excited about the future of Barcelona, and I know that we're going to be discussing transfers in and out. What do Barcelona need to lift another UCL title? We'll be discussing all of that in the upcoming weeks as we get to the summer transfer window. But let's turn the page. Let's jump over to the English Premier League. Seems like the last few weeks, it's been a talking point that Arsenal are just bottling it, absolutely bottling it. Man City are now one win away from claiming the English Premier League title after all this time. Absolutely incredible. Pablo, where are you at with things?
I think it is incredible. It is incredible. First off, hats off to City. Best team in Europe I've seen since Pep's arrived, for sure. And they haven't won the Champions League in that time, I know, but outrageous football institution. Like I can't comprehend how good they are. But Arsenal, you know, how we've spoken before about the imprint of some of these clubs. It just takes over them.
It really does, right?
How gutted must he be as an Arsenal fan? The only reason they won't be too devastated is because I think they slowly saw it coming over the last few weeks, right? It wasn't like they lost it on match day 37, like they got it snatched. It was coming. But still, for you to tell me that this Arsenal season, after all they've said and all they've done, are going to end up with the same trophies as 11th place Chelsea, it just has to sting, doesn't it? It has got to sting. Arsenal, for me, had to win the Premier League this season. City just couldn't get wins together. Like they tried and they kept slipping up. They've had Champions League to focus on, FA Cup to focus on. Pep couldn't seem to get it right. Arsenal an 8-point lead, games in hand, and they just were Arsenal. They just can't do it. Like some teams, and you look around their team, and unfortunately for them, clearly not enough leaders in that team to get them over the line. You look around it, player for player. They had injuries for sure that played a part. Saliba's injuries, I agree, is big. It's like if Barcelona had Araujo, but they didn't step up enough. Clearly, they couldn't cope with it, and if City walked back over them, my main point is I think it's a devastating blow for Arsenal. I do. I think it would be like if Barcelona lost this La Liga this season.
Yeah.
It's a huge blow for Arsenal. And can they go and do it again next season? And if they get to this point again with the top next season, will the same thing happen? Like, these are questions now that I think they might not be able to answer again. You have to feel for them in a way, because I think they had to win the Premier League this season. And actually, when I look back over the whole season, to think now they're not going to win it is quite incredible, because I thought they were for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you that this was probably Arsenal's year. One of the things that we talked about, I think like halfway through, when we were looking at their squad of players, was who at this club has that experience, that championship winning mentality that can pull the players across the line, and the answer was nobody.
No,
they're missing that. So I don't know if that's going to come from maybe bringing in a veteran signing, somebody who's not going to be in the starting 11 regularly, but somebody who's won championships. You know what I mean? This would never happen. This is a ridiculous example, but somebody with like a presence. Like, I don't know why, but Zlatan Ibrahimovic, if I could say words, comes to mind. It's obviously not him, but somebody with that personality who's going to go, hey guys, this isn't good enough. I'm going to bully you into being better. That's what I think Arsenal need right now.
Yeah, like if you're in a winning, like in a run for the title, you're walking down the streets of London, and like every single person is gonna be like, dude, we're gonna do it, yo, bro, come on, bro. Like that makes
was that a London accent? How close was that?
That's a
word. That was a decent impression.
To be fair, that is like pressure building, and I just like you were saying, Joe, like these players, all of them are really young, and that's what I mentioned also with Barca. You need to be able to just like go over the cliff a little, and I feel that that's the difference. And ultimately, when a team is so young, you do need some of those older players to get you back on track, instead of signing, in my opinion, someone like a Kivior, I don't know, the Polish center back that messed up completely against Brighton the other day. Instead of signing someone like him, in my eyes, you need to be signing a 30-year-old, a 31-year-old. Like, if you already have two young center backs, like Gabriel is like 24, Saliba is like 20, 21. Yeah. And then you need like get a 30-year-old, because for me, a 30-year-old always makes a better substitute than a youngster. In my eyes, a youngster is better as a starter, and a veteran like a 30-year-old. I mean, if he's not like a world-class player already, I mean, like, he makes a good substitute because he has that experience of like he's already had how many more matches than this kid.
It's the experience. On the defensive side, it is a little bit different. I mean, I know we just spent 45 minutes singing the praises of Araujo and Balde, two youngsters who are top of European defenders right now. But there are a lot of names that come to mind when you think about the crafty veterans that go for positioning over athleticism. You know what I'm saying? For me as an American, Tim Ream, Fulham center back, comes to mind. He's one that, from the American perspective, he kept getting pulled into the national team, and we kept going, why? What is, huh?
He sucks,
Ream
bro.
Again? And then all of a sudden, over the age of 30, he's had his best season for club. He had his best World Cup performance for the U.S. men's national team.
Yeah.
He's aged like a fine wine, and I think he's one of those guys that's an example of the experience, the mentality, and the growth there leading to better results than the athleticism that they may have had in their youth.
Yeah. One, you go, Pablo.
Okay. I just wanted to say, I think that a Barcelona youngster has a different mentality to an Arsenal youngster. I want to say that. And yes, I agree that, sorry, a big reason Barcelona won La Liga would have been because of people like Busquets, Lewandowski, Ter Stegen. That's also true.
Yeah.
Jordi Alba. However, someone like an Araujo, he hasn't won a La Liga, but I know Araujo has got a stronger mentality than 10 out of those 11 Arsenal players. Even people like Balde, Pedri, Gavi, like, they're going to be winners. And that's because they've come up through La Masia. They come up through La Masia beating teams 13-0 and winning every single title there is to win from the age of 8 years old. And they're Barcelona players. It's a completely different mindset. So I think unfortunately for Arsenal, it's because they've got young players and then they're in Arsenal. Like if they were young players in like a winning club, then it'd probably be different. But I think because Arsenal's got a culture attached to them at the moment where they haven't been successful really since 2003, it's really difficult to shift that. And you probably do then need like an outside leader to come in and pick it up.
Yeah, I feel you did mention like Ibra for like jokingly, but Ibra I think is the main reason why Milan are suddenly a team that can battle for top 4 spots in Italy, are in a semi-final. Like I remember reading an article in The Athletic about how Ibra came in, and what he did was literally in training, like Salemakers was like playing or something, and he messed up, and he was like, fuck, I messed up. And he went to him and he just started shouting at him and being like super crazy and being like, what the hell, dude? You are like a kid from Anderlecht. You were bought for this much money and this and that. And it's like, that is just bringing that mentality with you in alongside some player like an Ibra. And I feel players like that, for instance, like a James Milner, when Klopp took over, like that player just simply signing someone like him.
That's like, who Arsenal should have gotten, dude. That's who Arsenal should have gotten. Because where's he? He's leaving Liverpool. Where's he going next season?
Brighton, apparently.
Brighton.
Yeah.
Dude, Brighton. EPL
yeah, but that's they are making
now.
incredible astute signings. That's what I mean. Like, and I take a look at like for instance, in Inter in the semi-final, there's one player that I feel precisely embodies what we did. Like Francesco Acerbi, who came from Lazio for free to Inter. Dude, he completely like demolished Giroud. Like he didn't have a shot on goal, Giroud. And it's like your substitute, who is a 30-year-old guy who knows Serie A perfectly and has been playing against this sort of strikers week in and week out. And I feel that that's exactly what Arsenal are missing. And I feel that if they continue going through let's get this youngster, this gem, let's go get this Moises Caicedo, let's go get, well, Declan Rice is like, players who are really good, they're in a different sort of like, criteria. But what I mean is like, if they keep going for these youngsters, for Musa Diaby, they want to go from Leverkusen. They just need sometimes a guy who's a Milner, like a boring player. And I feel that's what, like, we can sell you Sergio Roberto if you want. That honestly, Sergio Roberto in Arsenal, I see that. Jordi Alba, I see that.
That's too funny. I mean,
I see that.
I still got Barcelona's stats pulled up here, and Sergio Roberto has the same number of goals as Ferran Torres and Ansu Fati.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Sergio Roberto, we can sell you him for what, 15, 10 million?
Yeah.
Maybe less?
Yeah.
8. I'll go down to 8. 8 million.
I love it. Well, Buga, you mentioned a bit of Champions League, so let's go ahead and turn the tables to Champions League. First, before we get into predictions for this week for Leg 2, was anybody surprised by the results? Either Real Madrid and City with the 1-1 draw, or Inter with the 2-0. You call it an away win, but like they're both Milan teams. You know what I mean? It's hard to call that an away fixture, but it is what it is. Inter, the away club, 2-0. Anybody surprised by these results?
A little bit. A little bit. I didn't know what I was expecting from the first leg in Real Madrid City. Maybe 1-0 was fair. I did think Real Madrid played better than I thought they would. I was expecting City to dominate them, but I'm not sure how amazing City. I'm not sure how amazing City were. In the Inter game, I wasn't expecting Inter to win 2-0, but I did think Inter will go through ahead of Milan before the game. Actually, I don't think Milan are that strong this season.
Yeah, Leao not being available on the pitch, I think, is huge for Milan.
Yeah, I feel that Leao, once he was injured and he was not gonna play, it's like game over. That Milan right now at this age, currently, is just Leao. Like that's literally their team, because of the way that they play. Right, the way that they want to play, Leao is so important for that. And you say first leg, yeah, I agree with Pablo. I feel that I was surprised how good Real Madrid actually played. Yeah, they played really, really good. They were far better, the better team in that first game. And listening to English media, they were still thinking like, oh, City were in control and stuff like that. But it's just I
saw that. They got that.
Yeah,
so
it's
wrong.
weird. It's like they don't
for periods, but not.
No, they were in control, but they didn't have cutting edge. Like they were like Haaland didn't touch the ball. Rudiger, I don't know, looked like a kid defending Haaland, but it worked. And that's the sort of thing that Real Madrid do, and I feel that they still haven't gotten around Real Madrid and how they play and how you need to beat them. I mean, they are still falling into the same trap over and over again. But I feel that Guardiola won't this year. I still feel that they managed to get the 1-1 draw. They're going to go back to the Etihad. I think it's going to be a little bit different, hopefully. And like I said before in the pod, I don't think they're going to be playing the same, a little bit cautious like that. Let's wait and see. But I was just surprised how actually City could have ended in a much worse place than they were. They should be happy with the result that they got and be like, you know what, 1-1, it's perfect. Because honestly, the goal came from De Bruyne in a moment where Real Madrid should have gotten the 2-0. Yeah. And they should have sent us the game. And once again, shout out to De Bruyne. His last 9 goals in the UCL have all come in knockout competitions. That's insane.
Yeah, he's stepping up in big moments there. I'm excited for Leg 2 of Real Madrid and City. I think this is going to be. I don't want to jinx it, but it could be the match of the tournament. Yeah. It has that potential, I'll say, because Man City are going to come out. They're going to play attacking football. Real Madrid are incredibly dangerous when you put them in a position where they can defend and catch you on that counterattack with Vinny Jr. and then Benzema getting on the end of a cross. I'm hoping for a 4-3 match here. I'm hoping for something along the lines of Man United, Real Madrid back in the late 90s. I forget what year it was. Was it? I don't think it was 99, or maybe it was like 2000 or something. It was in the David Beckham era, playing at Real Madrid.
It
was some like 4-3 tie. Yeah, something like that. I want one of those matches. I want a Chelsea Barcelona 5-3 or whatever it was. Like, that's what I'm going for in this one.
Mm-hmm. I think last game at the last year in the Etihad, it was 4-3.
Yeah,
I want another one of those.
Who do you guys think will go through then? Real Madrid or Man City?
I would like to think that City. I feel City are a little bit different. I think it's a little bit different from last year. I don't know what exactly it is, but I feel it's a little bit different. I feel this team is, for me, it is sometimes, like I say, football is super simple. I think this City is a little bit different, and I don't have any problems from Gundogan to De Bruyne further back. I honestly think if Haaland just plays good, because if the rest of the team knows what they're doing, like the roles in this squad are so solid and set.
Yeah.
If Haaland just have a game where he scores like an absurd goal, or he's just really on point, because he hasn't been that amazing to his standards in the last few games, I feel City go through. I honestly think sometimes it's just simple. If the goal scorer is sharp, I think they go through, because all of the other pieces in the team, I think they are solid. They know what to do. But the player that they bought to tip them over the line needs to appear in a game like this, right? Yeah. It's just that simple.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw a weird prediction out here, and I'm gonna say that whoever scores first loses this match. I'm gonna say it's gonna be that kind of party. That whoever scores first ends up getting knocked out in this. I've got a funny feeling about this match.
I don't agree with that. I feel that if City
lock it in, get a clip. We're coming back to this next week.
If City concede first, I feel that their weak mentality of the beginning they had will get into them. I just feel that they need to get like 1 goal, they need 2 goal difference. Like it sounds so absurd, but if they need to score first and they need to get back into it, they need to start winning, hopefully.
I'm imagining, I believe it was 2005 Barcelona versus Chelsea, and it was second leg, and I think, did it start out 2-0 or 3-0? It was like Damien Duff and Iron Robben.
2005, dude. We were 5 years old, and Pablo was like 3 years old.
I know. I was about to turn to Pablo, like, Pablo, you remember that match, right? But no, not so much.
Was that the one where like Lampard scored at the cross? Yeah.
This was when John Terry scored what ended up being the goal to push them through. Yeah, and this was the match where Ronaldinho scored a beauty, top of the box, puts his foot on the ball, little sidestep to freeze the defender, and then toe pokes it into the side netting. This was actually the match where I became an established Barcelona fan, because little story time. That summer before that season, my high school team was invited to participate in a camp from Chelsea. Chelsea came over to the States. They were playing Roma, and they decided to put on a little camp for like the local football teams. And my high school was one of the teams that got selected. And then on top of that, one of my friends and I got picked to be ball boys for that game. We got to meet Didier Drogba, John Terry, Frank Lampard, Damien Duff, all these guys, right? They had just signed Didier Drogba that summer. It was exciting. Yeah. So for a little bit, like and still to this day, I have some love in my heart for Chelsea. And as a 16-year-old watching Chelsea versus Barcelona, I was like, well, I love Ronaldinho and I'm into Barcelona, but I mean, I was Chelsea's ball boy, so I got to be a little bit loyal here. But watching that match and Ronaldinho's goal in particular, I went, oh no, this is it for me. I love what I'm seeing here. Yeah. I'm so captivated by this style of football. This is it for me. And I've been a Barcelona fan ever since that match.
God, what a good story. John, you could have been Chelsea.
I could have been. I could have been.
Fucking hell.
I know, man. I know. Somewhere I have a shirt that's signed by all those players. I'll have to dig that out of my my treasure box somewhere.
Pablo's gonna buy it in an auction.
When we visit, I'll go and see it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. All right, so let's get predictions in then.
Yeah.
For leg 2. Let's start with maybe the easier one. Inter Milan versus AC Milan. What's the score?
Leo's gonna play.
Who's going through?
Leo's gonna play, but it suits exactly Inter so good because Milan has to attack and Inter gonna counter.
Yeah.
I see a 3-1
to Inter.
3-1 to Inter.
Yeah.
Fuck 5-1 on aggregate. That's tough to take for AC.
I'm gonna go 2-2 for that one, and Milan go through because of their leg 1 victory.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-1.
1-1. Okay. All right. Man City, Real Madrid. I'm going. I don't know why. I just had a flash in my head. This is not my prediction, but I just had a flash in my head of it being 5-2 to Real Madrid. I don't know why. I'm only sharing that in case it comes true. I don't want that to be the case. I'm going to go 1-0 Man City.
It's a good one.
I don't want that to be the scoreline, but that's
so tight. That's so tight.
Yeah. I'm going 1-0 Man City, and it is just a nail-biting, puckered butthole for 90 minutes. Everybody on the edge of their seat. Just nervy match. 1-0 City.
I think if Manchester City want to go through, they need always they need a goal margin, like a 1 goal margin. If it's 1-1, their players are gonna start thinking, oh, we're gonna fuck it up, and the Real Madrid are gonna be like, yeah, we can win this. They always need like 1 goal margin. I'm hoping City can score first. If they score first, then this can. So I'm gonna go a 3-1 as well. I feel that it will be one of those games. I think it's going to be similar to the final of the 2015 Champions League, where Barcelona were 2-0 up, Juventus scored then, and then it's like Juventus start attacking, and then blah, 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 and then you just won, and then Barcelona, last minute, bang, they get another goal, and it's like done.
No,
I think it's going to be something like that.
Juventus equalised there.
Oh, maybe, yeah, it's the same. Doesn't matter who gets a goal there.
I'm going to go...
good times.
I'm gonna go 2-1 Real Madrid.
2-1 Real Madrid, so that means Real Madrid go through.
Yeah. All right.
Interesting.
We'll see. Either way, I'm hoping it's good football. I'm hoping in what has been not the most exciting Champions League. I'm hoping that we get a good second leg semifinal here, because either way, I don't know how this final's going. We'll see. It's going to feel a little bit like France versus Croatia in the 2018 World Cup final.
Yeah. I'm just going to say this. I'm just going to put this out there. I feel Inter has more chances to win the Champions League if they face Real Madrid rather than City.
I'll agree with that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Because look at Real Madrid. When the Real Madrid don't like to play, when they have to have the ball and attack. Like they don't know how to do that. Honestly, that's always that has always pained me to see. Like, why do teams go like, we're gonna beat Real Madrid, let's go boys, and like, no, you need to sit back, defend with like 2 lines of 5. That's what you need to do, because Real Madrid doesn't know how to create. They do, of course, but they're not as fluid in that part of the game. They want open spaces, and I just feel that Inter can be better there. Of course, they're still gonna lose like 3-0, but
that's awesome. All right, well, we got our predictions in. We've done some celebrating Barcelona. We talked about English Premier League. Did we miss anything, boys?
Quickly, can I ask you, who do you think is going to get relegated in the Premier League?
Oh, that's right. We did skip over that. Oh man, I
just want to see. I'm torn.
Southampton, Leeds, and Everton that get relegated. Leicester's playing Liverpool today.
So I think it's Leicester going to get relegated.
I'm still pulling for Leeds because
me too.
The U.S. men's national team ties. The only hope is I think for either Everton or Forest to drop some points. I don't know, but Leeds, ever since Tyler Adams has been out, Leeds just can't get points. So.
I think Everton are going to be the ones that stay up, and then Leeds and Leicester are going to go down.
Me too.
It's looking like.
I think it's going to be the ones that are right now in the bottom 3. I think that's going to stay the way.
Yeah,
it's going to stay like that.
Yeah. Too bad. So yeah, they're breaking my heart a little bit, but still got FCC winning big games, carrying on. We had a few wins since our last check-in, actually, and in one of them, Lucho Acosta scoring an Olympico from the corner is absolutely amazing. I was right behind the goal for that one. Incredible stuff. They're currently sitting second in the league, but we are moving forward in our domestic cup as well. Have won our last 2 matches. We're on to the round of 16.
Okay.
So
I actually know who that guy is. The one who you just mentioned. I actually know who he is.
Of course you do. Leyenda.
Yeah. Luciano.
Yes, indeed. All right. There's nothing else. We're going to wrap up this week. We'll be back next week. We are on to our regular schedule again, and we'll be talking about Champions League results, whatever else comes up in the footballing world. We'll be back again. Before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, share, give us a 5-star rating, all the things that support the channel. We appreciate you listening, and we'll see you next time right here on the Engine Room.
Bye, boys.